So when we discuss about the democracy, as we have discussed that democracy is accountable, democracy is responsive, democracy is a legitimate form of government. Now let us try to focus on some more things which makes democracy distinguished from the dictatorship. So the other major form is like economic growth. Economic growth and development. When we talk about the economic growth and development in comparison with democracy versus dictatorship, democracy versus dictatorship, from the past 50 years, let us take from 1950 to 2000, there has been a slight negativity towards the democracy. The negativity is democracy has always been a bit slow in the achieving the economic targets. When it comes to dictatorship, the dictatorship is somehow very much punctual or perfect in achieving their targets. Let us try to understand this with an example. Let us take Stalin. Stalin was a dictator of Russia. When Russia was taken over by Stalin, the financial position or the economic position was literally very bad. They were not completely organized. They are very far away from the development. They lost in the World War I. They were asked to remove their battalions. So it was literally really a bad picture of face of Russia. But when he took the dictatorship and he forced the people to follow the collective farming and made them to understand or forced them to understand the reality of working together. After a span of some 20 years, if you look at the same Russia, Russia became the dominant player in the Second World War. The First World War itself, Russia was in the trembling situation. Russia was not ready to participate in the World War I. Even if it is participating also, there were rallies, there were protests asking to buy peace, go for agreements, peace treaties. But as the situations turned, Stalin was very successful in getting the economic development up to the mark according to the requirement of all the people and the requirement of the nation, and brought Russia into the list of the superpower nations. So somehow when it compares to democracy, dictatorship always had a very good easy access or an appropriate access to get the economic development in comparison with democracy. Stalin's example is a perfect example for this, and in counter to this, you can take the example of India, or you can take the example of Bangladesh, you can take the example of Sri Lanka, where the democracy is far widely discussed and practiced, but still even after 50-60 years of India independence also, we are still a developing nation but not a developed nation. We still have questions on many issues, but still we can't counter any of the other powerful nations. So there is a slight negativity when it compares to the development of economic growth in respective with the democratic nature and the dictatorship attitude. When it comes to development also, economic growth literally means development. Development means that growth. So the development is expected to have in a larger scale. So when a democratic country is developing, it is developing in a very slow and steady process. When a dictator is developing the country, it is developing in a very fast and rapid manner. Let us take the example of Hitler here. Hitler, from a situation where Germany was in a very troublesome situation, where they faced a lot of problems, where they have to face the severe effect of the economic crisis or the economic depression which came in 1929. But ultimately, The problem came for that when Hitler took over the leadership, he brought some economic changes, he forced the people to follow them, he made it mandatory to everybody to do the things, and he was, in a short span of 10 years, in a decade, he changed the entire outlook of the Germany. Again, Germany is ready to fight the Second World War. So, in actual terms, he was the main cause for the Second World War, as we all know that. So, in this way, when it is compared to economic development and growth, it is the dictators who had a very slighter edge when compared to democracy.
If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel to get more videos on CBSE syllabus.